Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From my drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, Siggy Guns never fail.
What is up, fantasy football fiends? My name is Siggy Guns, along with
JT Magnum.
And it is week 11 of your NFL picks. We already saw the Colts play Tennessee in a nail-biter for the Colts. They did pull off the victory, winning it by 3. And what did I tell you? I told you about Donald Brown. Didn't I tell you about Donald Brown? Look what Donald Brown did.
Yeah, he went off.
But before we start,
Did he get hurt? Did he get hurt?
I'm not sure, but let's just put it out there right now. Trent Richardson, do they admit it's a mistake and get ready to cut their losses, or do you have to keep him at the first round bye? We talked about it a little bit.
They keep him.
You have to keep him, right?
They keep him.
You have to. I mean,
you don't give up a first round pick, and you got to remember he still does not know the offense.
That's true too.
So they're probably limiting him in terms of like what he knows in the playbook and stuff like that. But once he knows protections and things like that, because he's a good blocker. I don't know if you saw, but he did protect Andrew Luck a few occasions on that blitz, and he picked up. He's a big dude. He can pick up blitzes. So there was plays where he did a good job at that, and I'm sure he's learning the offense. But once he gets into the offense, he's shown flashes of being able to run. But you got to know your offensive line. You got to know the plays. You got to know what holes to run through. You got to know how they block. And he hasn't had that kind of time to gel with the offensive line yet. So I'm pretty sure they'll give him a good year to figure that out.
I think they'll give him a year, but I honestly think that in the end, if they would have kept their first round pick, they probably would have got a back that's just as.
Yeah, you can get a good running back in the second and third round nowadays. Fourth
round. Yep. So I mean, we'll see if it wound up being a mistake or not in the end. Just doesn't look too good so far. But if Donald Brown is hurt though, then that might change things certainly. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the Week 11 picks. So we already saw Indianapolis, Tennessee. Indianapolis won. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay coming off a victory at Tampa Bay beating Miami. What do you think about their chances against Atlanta?
Yeah, Tampa Bay's been playing well. I mean, they almost beat Seattle. They did beat Miami, and Atlanta's struggling. Atlanta just has some problems right now. Defensive side of the ball, along with offensively, they just can't. Like the loss of Julio Jones just seems to be affecting them. Their defensive line is in disarray. Their linebackers are all hurt. They're just I don't know. I'm gonna you know what? I'm actually gonna go ahead and pick Tampa Bay. Although this season's been crazy, like Atlanta could possibly blow them out, but I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay since they're at home.
I'm gonna be in denial still. I'm still in denial. I know they only have 2 wins. I mean, it's incredible knowing that the Giants already have more wins than Atlanta, considering that even with all Atlanta's struggles, I always thought their team was better than the Giants, and right now the Giants have a better record. But I'm still in denial about Atlanta. I'm going to go ahead and pick them because I cannot believe that a team could just regress this much, even with all its injury problems. I'm going to have to try to say Atlanta will win. But that could be very well that I'm in denial about it. New York Jets at Buffalo.
I'm going to pick the Bills at home. Even though the Jets are playing well, I like it that Manuel's back. And the Buffalo's defenses are playing really, really well. And they're starting to all come back healthy. So I think the Jets are playing well, but I do think the Bills will win just because they're at home.
It is an odd week. It is week 11 since the Jets did not play last week due to the bye, which is the week they normally lose is on the evens. So they win this week because it's week 11. And on top of that, I do like the Jets. I do like the Jets' defense better than Buffalo. We saw the first game. It was a tight game. E.J. Manuel is coming back. We don't know how good he's going to be. He is rusty. We don't know if the rapport's there. Stevie Johnson's not playing. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to have to go with Jets, though. Detroit at Pittsburgh.
I'm going to pick Detroit. Detroit's playing really good football. And Pittsburgh is just – Pittsburgh, this is one of those trap games. Even though Pittsburgh, I don't know if you consider it a trap game because it's in Pittsburgh, but – you know, Ben Roethlisberger having all those issues this week with the press and people saying, you know, that he wanted to be traded and all this other stuff. And he came out yesterday saying that's bullcrap. I never said that. And whoever said that is a lie, doesn't know me, doesn't know anything about me. So it's interesting because they might play inspired football, but still, with that said, Detroit's a really good team. So I'm going to pick Detroit.
Detroit has it all going right now, and now that Kevin Johnson is healthy, I mean, there looks like there's no stopping that offense. Reggie Bush has been on a roll, and just that whole offensive unit. If they just need a little bit of defense, especially against a Pittsburgh team that's struggling offensively, they have flashes of doing good, but that defense right now is looking real weak. I mean, man, Falamalu is looking real old out there, and that defense is looking pretty old. So I got to go Detroit also. Washington at Philadelphia, very intriguing game in my opinion.
Yeah, I like Philadelphia. I think they're able. They're gonna. I think this is actually going to be somewhat of a shootout.
I see that
Reminiscence of the
also.
first game when they first played at the beginning of the year, because
Yep.
Nick Foles really seems to have a grasp of this offense, and he's playing well. 16 touchdowns, no interceptions, and
Yep.
RG3 is playing well as of late. So I just think that Philadelphia's defense is slightly better than Washington's defense. So
Yeah,
I
Washington's
give the
defense
edge
is
to
probably the
Philadelphia.
difference
Although
maker.
Philadelphia sucks at home lately, so we'll see what happens. I think they have like one win at home this year. That's it.
Now, here's the thing. Philadelphia was exposed by the Giants, and if there's one thing that happens whenever a team gets exposed is when the division rivals pick up on it. Washington can exploit Nick Foles like the Giants did, and who knows what can happen. I want to pick Washington because of that, but yeah, Nick Foles has been the good Nick Foles has been playing real good lately, so I'm gonna have to assume that the real good Nick Foles is gonna show up in Philadelphia, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and pick Philadelphia. But I wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins. It's you really don't know if Nick Foles is that guy because now he has to play a division game where normally it's tough no matter who they're playing. In the division, if their team is weak or whatever. Division games are always a little bit different than non-division teams. But we'll see. Philadelphia, I'll pick. Baltimore at Chicago.
This is this is going to be a good one. I think Josh McCown's actually going to do well this week,
Yeah,
but
it's an easy pick for me.
he seems to have a good rapport with Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey. So, and he's not afraid to he's a gunslinger. He's not afraid to throw it. So, I'm going to pick
Yep.
Chicago, and they can run the ball.
I pick Chicago. If it's cold, if they have to run the ball, Forte right now is playing way better than Rice. I mean, Ray Rice is one of those disappointments in fantasy this year, as well as, let's face it, the money man, Flacco.
The
is not doing it.
man, just throw it up in the air and have Anquan Bolden catch
Yeah.
it. That's he doesn't have that this year.
That
He
team
got
is-
that was a team of destiny last year. Got lucky. The NFL helped them out a little bit too, in my opinion. But that was just let's let Ray get a championship before he goes out.
They blew it against Cincinnati last week. Even though they won, it felt like that game should have been an easy win, and they let them come back like it was nothing. And don't get me wrong, Cincinnati's a good team, but that was in their home turf. Baltimore on the road is not going to do anything against Chicago. I don't care who's a quarterback. It could be what's his name, Rex Grossman, if he comes back. So I'm thinking Chicago.
I'm
for
just
sure.
not a big fan of Flacco. I don't think Flacco's
Yeah,
all
Flacco's
that.
just
I don't think he's
garbage.
worth. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's worth $100 million.
Yeah, no way. Unless he throws a Torrey Smith 5 times in the end zone, then I'll like Joe Flacco because I got Torrey Smith in all my fantasy leagues. But Arizona at Jacksonville.
Arizona.
Jacksonville coming off a win.
Arizona.
Yeah,
Arizona's not a
I think
bad
Arizona's
team.
awesome.
If they can get some good
Yeah.
quarterback play, they'll be actually a better team.
I mean, they got what's his name back there. Yeah, he's not the same as he used to be in the good old days, but I mean, yeah, Arizona is decent. They've always needed a good quarterback. They need Kurt Warner back. I'll pick Arizona also. Oakland at Houston. Remember Oakland was doing good this year?
Oakland's doing well as well, but I like Case
No,
Keenum.
no.
I like Case Keenum at home. He's gonna go off.
I do too. I got a feeling if you have Andre Johnson play him, he might have 5 touchdowns this game. I'll go Houston
My
also. We don't
goodness,
have to
yeah,
talk much
he's
about
doing really well since Case Keenum came on.
it. Yep. Cleveland at Cincinnati. Always a tough game, these two. Always
Yeah,
tough.
these two are always tough, but I'm gonna go with Cincinnati at home because I just don't like Cleveland's quarterback situation.
Campbell, he's not doing too bad.
He sucks too, though. he's another one, man.
I'll go
Ever since
Cincinnati also.
if this was Brian Hoyer playing for Cleveland, I would pick Cleveland.
if it was still Brian Hoyer playing, man, I got a feeling Cleveland might be running away with the division right now. They
Yeah,
were on a
yeah,
roll. They really were.
they were on fire when he
San,
was there.
yeah, they were. San Diego at Miami.
I'm going to pick San Diego. Miami's struggling. They have some serious
Yeah.
issues right now, and San Diego's not a bad team. I see them being able to beat them and handle Miami in Miami.
San Diego is, man, I feel bad for its fans, man, because that team is like, it's bipolar. When you expect them to blow out a team, they struggle to get a win or they lose. And then when you expect them to lose, they show up and try to play great and almost win a game against the tough ones. I mean, I can't figure the team out. But I will agree, Miami's playing so poorly right now, and they have so much on their plate outside of the locker room that I think San Diego will take advantage of that. That's probably why Tampa Bay beat them. Green Bay at New York Giants.
That's going to be a tough one for not really actually. I think the Giants are going to kill him because I don't like Scott Tolzien. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. He's a former 49er backup quarterback.
I agree right there. I mean,
They
that
liked him
team,
a
I feel
lot.
bad
I
for
don't know
Green Bay.
why. I didn't think he was all that, but whatever.
This is the difference between an Aaron Rodgers led team and any other quarterback that's left out there that's not Aaron Rodgers or a top 5 tier quarterback. So
Yeah.
Green Bay is not going to be able to match up with New York Giants offense, even though there hasn't been much of an offense. It's still been playing better than the Giants. I expect them to beat Green Bay easily also. Minnesota at Seattle. Seattle never loses at home, although they almost did. They almost did, though.
A couple times they've almost lost at home, but
Yep.
the point is they still win. So, and I don't think Minnesota can come in there and beat them. They're minus Jerome Simpson as well. Cordarrelle Patterson is going to get a start, which is good. And Seattle is minus one of their defensive backs, Brandon Browner, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I don't see them being able to, unless Adrian Peterson just completely goes off, which we've seen him do in Seattle, against Seattle,
Yep.
and still lose. So I just think Russell Wilson is too much. That guy is phenomenal. So Seattle, again, with a win. They're going to go 10-1.
I agree. Seattle will win that one. San Francisco at New Orleans. I know it's going to be tough for you to admit this, man, but go ahead, admit it.
No, I'm picking the Niners. San Fran went into New
Nah.
Orleans. San Fran went into New Orleans last year and beat them up. I think it's going to be the same deal. Listen, to me, the NFL is all about matchups. San Fran matches up very well against New Orleans. The last 2 games they've played, they've matched up very well.
How can you say that, knowing that this year New Orleans' pass defense is 100 times better than what it was in the last 10 years? 100 times. I mean, that pass defense is phenomenal this year, New Orleans. They shut out Tony Romo in New Orleans last week. Shut him out, and this is a pass offense happy team.
Yeah, but
San Francisco's
Dallas
struggling passing the
Dallas
ball.
isn't a running team. San Fran's a
That's true.
run first team.
That's true.
So if you can
And that
stop
is how
the
the
if
Jets
you can
beat them.
stop the run, then you can stop San Fran. But can New Orleans stop the run? And San Fran's been able to run all over New Orleans. And San Fran's defense is capable of stopping New Orleans, stopping Drew Brees, whether it be in the dome or whatever they play.
It's going to be a real good game. Don't get me wrong. I think just based on the last couple of weeks I've seen New Orleans against Dallas and then New Orleans against the Jets. Yes, I agree. If you run the ball, that's how the Jets beat them. They ran it down their throats with Ivory, and Frank Gore and Kendall Hunter are way better than an Ivory combo, with Bilal Powell. Even if they run that, though, Drew Brees, you can only contain him. You can't really stop him. The Jets gave up still 380 yards passing to him and still gave up 3 or 4 touchdowns to Drew Brees. Now, can San Francisco match that output even with their good defense? That's the question. Even if it's a low-scoring game for New Orleans, let's say 21 or 28, will San Francisco have enough offense to score 30 to 28 points themselves? That's going to be the question.
Against that squad, I think San Fran can be fine. I don't think New Orleans defense is all that it seems to be.
On the passing side, come on, you have to admit it is. On the passing side.
On the passing, maybe because of the teams that they played haven't had great passers besides Romo.
That's true. I mean, there are 2 losses this year where against the Brady, a lucky throw at the end, 5 seconds left, and questionable calls.
But a Brady-led team with no wide receivers.
Yeah, but let's face it, though. New Orleans botched a couple. There was like 10 botches that they botched, calls and towards the end of that game where they could have ran the clock out and they didn't. they were either too greedy or I
I
don't know. I can't
like
explain that. Honestly.
I like San Fran's chances going against New Orleans just because of a matchup standpoint. San Fran's defense is also extremely good against the pass. I don't know if you know this, but their defense is ranked up there against the pass, and their defense is ranked better than New Orleans against the run.
I
So
don't know.
you
I'm gonna
you
pick
and
New
you know New
Orleans
Orleans is not going to
30
run
to
the ball.
28. 30 to 28 New Orleans is my score, and that 28 is going to be San Francisco making a game of it at the end, in my opinion. So you go San Francisco, I'll go New Orleans. We'll see who wins this one. We should have a little wager on that one. No, I'm just playing. Kansas City at Denver. I mean, here's the matchup that everybody's been wanting for, even though I don't think it's going to be a close game at all.
I think Denver's going to blow them out.
I do too.
I think the Chiefs are suspect. I don't care. I've been saying it all along. Their defense is suspect. They're not that good on defense. They played nobody. They haven't played one team with a winning record all year long. Period. They're not that good. And on top of that, playing teams with winning records, they played their backup quarterbacks. Every team that they played they've gotten so lucky that they've had to play their backup quarterbacks because their starting quarterback got hurt. Kansas City is probably the luckiest team I've ever seen in my entire life, starting a season 9-0 or 9-0, and I've never seen such luck in my entire life. Alex Smith averages like 6 yards per pass, which is like nothing compared to like 30 something other quarterbacks, including probably backup quarterbacks. The guy, this is by far the luckiest team I've ever seen in my entire life, and their luck is going to run out this weekend. That luck is going to run out completely.
Their luck might not be run out because you know who's hurt for Denver right now?
Who? Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning.
He'll be fine.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine also. But it is kind of weird that that just happens to be.
They're literally the luckiest team I've ever seen in my entire life, playing the schedule they've played and playing the quarterbacks that they've played. Now it's not their fault.
No,
it's not their fault, but at the same time, come on, man. Come on.
All right, so I think we both know Denver should win this game, and we both probably think it should be easily. This is going to be that question that everybody's been asking about Kansas City. Can they come back if they're down by more than 2 touchdowns late in the game? And we'll find out here because it will happen. New England at Carolina. Carolina, the shock of the NFL, in my opinion, right now. They're 6-3, I believe. They have solid defense. Cam Newton and the offense are not as high-powered or rolling like everybody thought that it would be at this point. But then again, you talk about a team that has no receivers. Everybody points to New England. Carolina has no receivers. I mean, Steve Smith is way past his prime, and that's the only option he has. So what do you think about this matchup here?
I think it favors Carolina because their defense and Tom Brady's struggling with those receivers. So I think that Carolina is going to be able to get to Brady. Their front four is so good. So just them alone getting to the quarterback is all they need to do.
Now, see, here's the thing. Everybody was saying they have no receivers in New England. But the thing is, there is still Amendola. He is a good receiver. He is healthy right now. And now they do have Gronkowski, which is pretty much like Jimmy Graham up in New Orleans or down in New Orleans. He's a receiving tight end, a great receiving tight end. He has 2 viable options at receiving. He didn't have him the whole season, I admit that, but that's certainly better than what Cam Newton has. Defensively, they both have pretty good defenses. In my opinion, New England has actually a pretty good defense considering they've lost a lot of players, a lot of their good players on defense at that, and they're still chugging away. I think it's going to be a close game. I think if you ask me right now, who's going to win a game at the end, Tom Brady or Cam Newton, I got to go Tom Brady. He's already proven that. It is Monday night. The lights are bright. I can't see New England losing to Carolina. I know they came off of a huge win against San Francisco, but that was more of just brain farts for San Francisco, in my opinion. They should have won that game. So I'm going to go New England. In a close one, but New England at the end.
All right. I got Carolina.
And that is it. That is the end. A very interesting matchup. Obviously, it's going to be San Francisco, New Orleans. I think it's going to be the game of the week, and we'll see what happens. I got to feel New Orleans, though, man. You can't stop New Orleans in New Orleans, in my opinion.
I know. They stopped them last year, though.
Yeah, last year when they had no pass defense.
We didn't pass the ball. We ran all over them.
That's true. When Rob Ryan is going to be the difference.
We only did play action after running. We just did play action to Vernon Davis. There wasn't really that much going on in New Orleans last year. And on top of that, we intercepted Drew Brees and ran one back for a touchdown.
That's true. We'll see. We'll see. That's going to be an interesting topic. We'll be talking on the four quarters of that matchup probably, San Francisco and New Orleans. But anyways, leave your comments, picks in the comment section below. We try to reply to you guys. I know this Google Plus thing has my chance where I can't reply. I don't know if you can still reply. Can you reply anymore?
I can reply.
I can't for some reason.
You
Anything
can't.
else you
You
want to
can't
add?
reply to any of the comments in there. That
Nope.
sucks.
And I'm Google Plus and all. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's it, guys. Take care and enjoy the NFL weekend. Fantasy football fiends, we out.
Peace.